everyone, Christine Maggi here. Hope you're doing well. I am back with another video in the career series. This one is all about how to make the most out of your design job. And especially if it's your first design job, this is going to go over some things just to keep in mind and how to take advantage and really get your career off to a great start in your first job. Let's go. This first one goes for anyone who's starting any job, not just design, but very important nonetheless, and that is to be thankful. Be humble. This is your big break, and so you need to have an attitude of humility, of thankfulness, just being happy to be there, being eager, ready to learn. You want to do this place proud. And in order to start off on the right foot, you really need to have the right attitude coming in the door. And kind of go along with that same idea is another very important one, and that is do not act or think that you know everything you don't. Even if you were a hotshot in school, even if you come from a really great background, if you have a killer portfolio, you do not know everything. You are going to learn a lot at this job, and so coming into a job thinking you're really hot, thinking you're all that is not going to go over well. You want to, again, have that humble, friendly, approachable attitude, ready to learn, open, willing. Don't come in thinking that you have all the answers. There's a really good chance you might have great ideas, you might have a fresh perspective. Absolutely bring that. But don't come in with an attitude thinking that because of these things that you're better than anyone else, that you know all the answers, you have all the ideas. That is not going to go over well. So what does that mean? That means you need to listen a lot, especially in the beginning. You don't want to be someone who's just talking and telling everyone what to do, how to work, how they should do this. No, listen. Why is this important? Your coworkers have so much experience in that position. They know how things are run. They know how things have gone down, and they have experience that you don't have. So listen to them. Hear what they're saying, and you can learn a lot. This leads right into my next point, and that is to be a literal sponge. Absorb everything that you can. Learn as much as possible, especially if this is your first job. This is really going to set a foundation for the rest of your career, whether you realize it or not. You are learning things, you're absorbing things, you're forming expectations, and all of that comes from learning. I also want you to ask a ton of questions, especially if you don't know what someone's talking about, if you've never heard a phrase, if you're unfamiliar with the 5,000 acronyms they're probably throwing around. Ask questions. Write down the answer. You will pick it up, but it helps to ask. Plus, a great thing about asking questions is that it shows people that you're wanting to learn. It shows people that you don't know everything and that you're there to really absorb, to go all in, and to not be afraid if you have a question. That's actually a great sign. Even little things. So if you're working with other designers, even little things like software shortcuts or how to do specific design effect or how to use a different tool that you're not familiar with. All these little things can end up making your work faster, making you more efficient in the long run. My next point is to build quality relationships. So kind of going back to what I've been talking about, getting on the right foot with people, having good relationships is going to set you up for the rest of your career. These are people that are observing you, they're watching you, they're seeing you from the very beginning, and they will see you until you leave that job. And they'll be able to talk about the growth that you've had and vouch for you and how great you've been doing. So having those relationships where people want to brag on you, they want to help you out in the future, that is so, so important. Do not underestimate the power of a good working relationship with someone. And hey, when you leave, when you're ready to go to your next venture, these people are going to be the ones to write you recommendations and to wish you well and to see where you go next. So make those connections, build friendships within the industry. It is so important. They will take you very far. My next one is to document everything. Everything. Not only will you need some of this documentation when you're writing case studies about the work you're doing, all that can easily go into a portfolio later, save you a ton of time in the future, but documenting your successes, every little success, every compliment you get, every time someone says, hey, you did a great job on that, write it down. When it comes time for a raise or a promotion, you're gonna wanna bring that list out because that is going to show your employer how great you've been doing. And even when you're having a bad day or you think you're not doing well, being able to refer back to something that shows, hey, I'm doing good here. I'm making contributions, I'm sharing some great ideas, my work is getting really highly praised, the clients love it, whatever it is, write it down. But that's not all I want you to write down. I also want you to write down your failures. When you mess up, when you screwed something up on accident that you didn't mean to and it ended up being horrible, it happens. Write it down anyway and write down what you learned from it. Not only is it good to, again, refer back to this stuff, but when it comes time to do your yearly review, for example, a lot of times they'll ask you questions to self-evaluate, and almost always they'll ask you, where are some areas of improvement, or what have you maybe not done so well this year? Hindsight tends to be 20/20, so you'll see what went wrong, you'll see what happened, and you'll also know how you learned from it and how you're going to apply what you learned next time in a similar situation. Even if it's a failure, write it down. It is still important. It is part of your learning and part of your growth. And my last point here, especially if you're a new designer, is to lend a hand. Go out of your way to be helpful, even if it's not part of your job description. If you have an idea or you maybe want to learn something, why not ask to help or volunteer yourself? A little initiative goes a long way because it shows that you're not only there for a paycheck, you are there to learn, you are there to help the company, and you really care about the success of everyone involved. And again, when it comes time for those promotions or reviews, that's going to reflect really well on you. You're going to look like a team player, you're going to look very invested in the company, and it just shows that you're a good person. I'm not saying to kill yourself, have a good work-life balance, but if you can, it helps to help out a little extra. And those are a few points of what I think would be good for you if you're starting a new job, how to make the most of it. Again, this is your big break. You should make the most of it and you should be proud of yourself. So I hope this was helpful. If you have any other ideas to add or maybe mistakes that you've made that you've learned from and you want to share, please leave me a comment. I love seeing all of those and I love when you guys talk to each other. It's really cool to learn from one another. So leave a comment. If you like this video, I'd appreciate it if you give it a big thumbs up. That helps other people see it. If you like videos like this, I've got a lot more. Please check out my channel, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you next time.